Hey, Michael, guess what, man? I'm a millionaire.
How did you get to that conclusion?
Well, I just keep saying that I'm a millionaire, and that means that I'm a millionaire.
I'm not sure that's how that works.
Wait. So just because I say that I'm a millionaire, that doesn't actually make me a millionaire?
Sorry, man. That's not how it goes.
Are you kidding me? So if I say that I know God, it doesn't mean that I actually know him. I actually have
Not
to
necessarily.
keep his commandments.
That's what John would say in First John. You ought to read First John 2, 3 through 6.
Well, let's see what he's got to say here. And by this we know we have come to know him if we keep his commandments. Whoever says, I know him, but does not keep his commandments is a liar,
Mm.
and the truth is not in him. Whew. But whoever keeps his word, in him truly the love of God is perfected. By this we may know that we are in him. Whoever says he abides in him ought to walk in the same way in which he walked. Ah, I see now. So it seems like there's two different tests to determine whether we actually know God.
Hmm.
The first of those seems to be if we keep Jesus' commandments,
Yeah,
right? And we know that Jesus taught on a wide variety of subjects to help us live the life that we're called to, right? He talked about anger. He talked about how we're supposed to talk to our enemies. He talked about how important marriage should be to each and every one of us. He taught about how important it is to think thoughts that would honor him, right, and honor God. He taught about how we should treat others and the fact that we should treat others in the way that we want to be treated. He taught about the value of the kingdom of heaven. He taught us how to be generous and how important that was. And most importantly, he taught us that we should be telling others about the gospel and spreading that message. So Jesus gave us the answers to how we should live our lives each day to follow the first test whether we know God.
exactly. You're exactly right. And that second one, when you were reading that a moment ago, I was thinking of my father-in-law. He does a really good job of finding fun ways to exercise. He likes taking part in Spartan runs. He trains for those, and there's a lot of creative ways to really exercise. And one of the things he's been doing recently is riding a stationary bike. This bike is sitting in a room upstairs, but it has a screen that you're able to watch, and you're able to go on these scenic bike rides from the comfort of your home. But when he's riding those, there's often a leader that he's following. When you're going through a mountain pass, it's important that you follow close to the leader, that you stay in the path that he's riding on, because if you don't, there's a cliff that you could go off. One mistake could lead to serious injury or even death. You leave the path. And so as he's riding along, I know that it's not real. He's not on a mountain pass, but visualize that riding on that narrow path. For us as Christians, we are to follow the same path that Jesus rode down. We should be following Jesus. John says that we should be walking in the same way in which he walked. We have a leader to follow. When we're struggling with difficulty, we should look at how Jesus handled difficulty. When we look at how Jesus, when he had a lot of things going on, what he would do, Jesus would often withdraw to quiet places and pray. Likewise, you and I should be withdrawing and finding a quiet place and praying and being in the Word of God. Jesus, we read about how Jesus talked with other people, how he treated other people, how he was kind to other people, and we should be following that same path that Jesus left before us. We shouldn't just leave these things in our Bible, but we should live them. So we got to make sure that our actions line up with what we say. If we say we know God, we ought to keep Jesus's commandments, keep God's commandments, and we ought to walk in the same way Jesus walked. Thank you for joining us today. We thank you for following along.